महाप्रसाद अन्न प्रसन्ने विनियोगः ओम अच्युत अन्नपते अन्नस्सनो देहि अनविमस्स सुस्मिनः प्रदातारन्तारिसः गुरुजनो देहि द्विपदे चतुष्पदे स्वाहा ओम तानाय स्वाहा ओम प्रजापति विष्णु ऋषि गायत्री छंदः श्री जनार्दनो देवता कुमारस्य महाप्रसाद प्रसन्ने विनियोगः स्वाहा
ओम प्राणाय
स्वाहा ओम जनार्दनान्नपते कृणुत अन्नं नो देहि पीयूषरसाक्तं ते अन्नं यद्दज्जुगेन देहि द्विपदे चतुष्पदे स्वाहा ओम अपानाय स्वाहा
ओम अपानाय
स्वाहा ओम प्रजापति विष्णु ऋषि गायत्री छंदः स्वाहा श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण देवते कुमारस्य महाप्रसाद प्रसन्ने विनियोगः ओम लक्ष्मी नारायणो अन्नपति अन्नम् अमृतं नो देहि कमला संस्कृतं ते भुक्त शेषं नो देहि द्विपदे चतुष्पदे स्वाहा
given to these children. So what swaha?
उदानाय स्वाहा
Swaha.
ओम प्रजापति विष्णु ऋषि गायत्री छंदः से जनार्दन देवता
Dhyanaya swaha.
कुमारस्व महाप्रसाद प्रसन्ने विनियोगः ओम अन्नपते जनार्दनो सर्वसमिक्त सिक्तं निवेदितं सदन्नं देहि किल्लिशापाहं नो देहि द्विपदे चतुष्पदे स्वाहा वनाय स्वाहा
If you want to be happy forever in this life and after this, that life, this life, you should chant and remember Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Without this, worldly wealth, reputations, sense gratifications, and so many things, they cannot give you happiness. Never, never and never. Never. And that is why Swamiji came here, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj came here, everywhere, to give this message to whole world. After his departure, so many devotees became weak. No so much strong faith on him, no strong faith on name. That name is himself Krishna, and more merciful than Krishna even. Very powerful. They returned to their home for sense gratification, to make wealth, reputation, to make so many businesses, because they had no strong faith on it. That name can give you everything, even eternal bliss. In Golok Vrindavan it can give. Why not these material things he can give? But it is hard, very hard to believe. We have seen, by name, Brahma is created. Brahma is creating whole universe. By the power of taking name, Shankar, oh, very marvelous things. He can give any boon to anyone. No? Sukadeva Goswami, Narada Goswami, Vyas and others. Even Nityananda Prabhu Haridas Thakur changed so many lives. Like demons like Yavai, Madhai and so many. What Swamiji did miracle in this world? chanting so many persons, so countless. How? Only by the mercy of name. He gave. Sitting in the park of New Jersey. What doing? Only closing eyes. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. He changed the hearts of hippies and made them happy. So many, numberless. So you should have faith in name. But how it will come? The backbone of bhakti is Guru Nishtha. Without Guru Nishtha and by his serving and by his teaching, following, you cannot have that kind of. So what is Guru Nishtha? With some explanation and udaharan. Examples. Oh. Pandrik Brahmachari will explain something. Not so much, because time is not so much. I will have to complete today or just till 7:30.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana
You can do no.
Chakshurunimilitam Nena
What
Tasmai
Shastra has explained. On, let him do. If he is speaking or no.
Pancha Kalpatrusika Pasan.
Oh, you told me tomorrow. You, oh my daughter, you told me what are you doing, how going? Tomorrow.
First of all, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Guru Maharaj, and I offer proper respects to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Want that we should discuss and hear about the importance of Guru Nishtha. What is Guru Nishtha? Nishtha means faith, but not ordinary kind of faith or a belief. Here, Nishtha means strong, unflinching faith, determination. That's called Nishtha. For whom? For Guru. That's why Guru Nishtha. If we see in the life of all the great souls, those who have attained perfection in the past, we will see that each one of them, they followed in their life this principle very strictly. And by their own example, they showed us that regardless of one's material situation, eligibility, qualification, disqualification, etc., etc., if one takes seriously to the instructions of spiritual master, then in no time one attains perfection. This is the rule since the beginning of creation, that if any conditioned soul has to liberate his or herself from this material conditioned state of life, then the only hope is to hold the finger of that liberated soul who is known as Guru. The word Guru has two letters, Gu and Ru. What does that mean? Gu means darkness or ignorance, and Ru means enlightenment, knowledge. So one who brings me or one out from that ignorance and brings me to the real essence of life, the reality about one's own existence, reality about this world, this creation, the Supreme Lord, then this person is known as Guru. All the scriptures which we read, the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, Srimad Bhagavatam especially, because Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the scriptures. All of these scriptures have been written by whom? Or manifested by? In the recent time, because Shastra is eternal. It has been manifested in recent time by Srila Gurudeva. Everyone accepts his authority on his scriptures. So what did he do? He composed Vedas and then he wrote down the essence of the Vedas in Vedanta Sutra. And then further he explained the essence of Vedas in Upanishads, Purans. He also composed Mahabharata. And after doing everything else, until now, all these scriptures beginning from the Vedas, it includes every bit of knowledge required for anyone, for any subject matter in this material world. It contains in that. It has been categorized in 4 divisions: Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Dharma means religion. Arth means what one wants, or in general sense we say economics. Kam means the desires in terms of enjoyment, what we want to experience in this world, what we want to have. And moksha, liberation. That's the highest goal one can think of, or most of the people in this world, they think of or they want. Even in India, if we go, we will see everyone, whether they know or not, their goal is they want moksha, because that's the highest, supreme, attainable destination for living entity in their understanding. So Srila Vyasadeva has discussed in details about all these things in his scriptures, which I mentioned a while ago. But even after composing all that vast literature, Srila Vyasadeva himself was not satisfied. Surprising. Every information is given there, the way how one should live in this material world and one can be happy. But despite that, he himself is lacking something, is searching for something, is not fully satisfied. So, in that despondent state, and morose, Srila Vyasadeva was sitting and thinking, what shall I do? And in the meantime, what happened? Srila Narada Muni. Who is he? The Guru of Srila Vyasadeva. He appeared at that point, at that place. And Srila Vyasadeva, he, with the deep affection of his heart, he properly honored, welcomed Sri Narada Muni, and after duly honoring him, giving him proper seat and welcome, he inquired the cause of his distress. But before that, because Guru is all-knowing, so Srila Narada Muni is knowing everything about Srila Vyasadeva. So he is inquiring before Vyasadeva wants to ask something. Oh, you look not very happy. Why? You have done great work. No one can do like you. And still you feel you are not content. You are still looking for something. You are still searching for something. Why is that? And then humbly Srila Vyasadeva is saying, I don't know. Why? Because I am the diseased. I am the patient. How can I know the cause of my disease? I don't know. You are a doctor. You know why I am suffering, why I am not happy, why despite making all this endeavor and achieving so many things in my life, I am still unhappy. I don't know. So this is the first important point that we have to understand. This all information which we are going to hear, this is all included in Nishtha, Guru Nishtha. Just by hearing the word Guru Nishtha, we will not become Guru Nisht. There is a process. It's a process, and it begins from scratch. It begins where one has no relationship, no information about anything. And then when one finds that important person in his life, one who will bring him to that eternal destination where he belongs to, he starts relating himself with that person. And then gradually, by properly communicating and making proper surrender, devoid of all other motivations, with pure sincerity, trying to execute the instructions of that spiritual master, he will come to that platform of Guru Nishtha, and then everything else will be revealed to him, not before that. So here Srila Vyasadeva, how nicely and humbly he is acting, how a disciple should behave or act, how the relationship begins with the spiritual master. So if we all, or any one of us, is feeling like that, similar like Vyasadeva in our life, that we need something, we are lacking something, so much we have tried in our life, all those years, some are young, some are old, but despite that we have our plans and we have tried so many ways to be happy, but we are not. So what we should do, we should go and inquire about our state from the soul, from the mouth of spiritual master or guru. So when Vyasadeva submissively inquired from Narada Muni, then Srila Narada Muni said, yes, you have done great work. You have written so many scriptures, in those scriptures you have given information that how different conditioned souls in different situations of life, according to their adhikar, different qualifications, what they should do, which demigods and other worships they should do. And by doing so, what you did, somewhere you said, oh, Ganesh, he's the source of everything. He's the supreme God. And somewhere you said Lord Shiva. Somewhere you said Goddess Durga. Like that, you have confused the people. People cannot ascertain now in clarity that who is the supreme person, who is that supreme personality, who is controlling each one of us and each and every activity going on in the material world. And how one can relate to that supreme Lord. You have not mentioned that. You haven't described the glories of Sri Brajendranandan Shyamsundar, the son of Nanda Maharaj in Braj. You haven't mentioned about his pastimes, his sweet pastimes, that how being Supreme Personality of Godhead, knowing everything, omnipotent, yet still, how he acts in Vrindavan? Just like a normal, ordinary person, human being. Not knowing at all that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that he creates the material world or the spiritual world and everything that is there in the existence. With Mother Yashoda, he's having so many wonderful pastimes like a child. She controls him fully with his love, for her love and affection to be caressed by her. He has a great deep desire to sit in her lap, to drink her breast milk, and if he doesn't get that, he becomes disturbed. You haven't mentioned these pastimes. You haven't mentioned how with love and affection she can even bind him. And she did that. She can scold him. She can twist his ear. And he cries. Can you imagine? How does Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's having such wonderful loving exchange with his associates, and you have given no description about that. You haven't mentioned how he plays with his cowherd boyfriends in the forest when he goes for cowherding. What to speak, he has such a nice relationship with even the cows, with all the animals. So sweet relationship. Cows will not give milk unless Krishna comes there. How beautiful and how wonderful. And you haven't mentioned that. And above all, the wonderful pastimes with his intimate gopis. Fully controlled by their love. You haven't given any information about that. So then, what happened? After hearing this information from Sri Narad Muni, what did Vyasadeva do? He took the instructions of his spiritual master in his heart. And soon after he left, Srila Vyasadeva sat down in deep meditation, following the path of Shuddha Bhakti. Bhakti yogena manasa samyak pranihite amale pashyat purnam pursha mayancha tadapashyam. So, in this verse, it is described how Srila Vyasadeva, he sat down in meditation according to the method described by Narad Muni, exclusively with one pointed, resolute determination. He was focusing with Shuddha Bhakti at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Bhakti Yoga, that is the process of Shuddha Bhakti and unconditioned surrender. Like Sri Rupa Goswami has explained in the verse, Anya abhilashika shunyam jnana karmadhyanabratam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhakti uttama. This was the process what Srila Vyasadeva adopted. And then what happened? In his complete mature samadhi, in his transcendental state of trance, what did he visualize? What did he saw? What did he experience? He saw those wonderful, beautiful transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna with all the associates in Golok Vrindavan. All the pastimes like a chain. He saw everything. And then what did he saw? He saw all this material creation. And behind Krishna he saw that Maya Devi was standing a little bit away from Krishna and her face is bowed down. She's not feeling very happy. Why? Because she takes care of all the living entities who have come in this material world and who are conditioned. She takes the charge to purify them by giving them punishment. That's her duty. So she doesn't feel very happy about it, that these living entities who are actually part and parcel of Krishna, who are meant to enjoy eternal bliss and that loving relationship with Krishna, are suffering in this material world, and that she has to purify them or clean them of all that contamination of the material modes by punishing them. So when Srila Vyasadeva, he saw all these things by the mercy of Sri Narad Muni, then what did he do? He composed that transcendental jewel of Srimad Bhagavatam. And in that, what did he wrote? Ete chansa kalah punsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. That now, for sure you should know that all these manifestations, incarnations of the Lord which we see, Nirsingha, Vaman, Kalki, Ramachandra, so many incarnations, countless, innumerable, they are all what? They are all manifestations or expansions of Krishna. And Krishna is that supreme, original supreme personality of Godhead from whom they are all coming. We should not have any doubt about it. But what is the formula to understand? We should not grade it like someone is inferior and someone is superior. This is not the idea. That is material idea. He gave the example of moon. Like on full moon day, what happens? We see the complete full disk. And the whole atmosphere and whole planet is flooded with wonderful moonshine. And then other 15 on every 15 days, what we see, the moon is waning and waxing. So when we see moon very small, just like a small curve, very sliver. We saw like this. Then what does it mean? Does it mean that moon is now only in that shape? It's not a complete full disk? No. every day then moon is growing, that means moon is growing and moon is decreasing. This is not the case. The reality is, because of our position here in this material world, every day we are seeing moon with a different shape, increasing or decreasing. But actually moon is complete like on the full moon day. Throughout, every time, eternally is like that. So similarly, all the expansions and incarnations of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu Tattva, they are same like Krishna. No difference in potency. Tattvata means principally they are all absolute truth. But the only difference is of the pastimes, the sweetness or the Madhurya aspect of the Supreme Lord, in which He has loving relationships with jivas of different adhikar. And according to the devotion of one devotee, the Lord manifests His beautiful form. So, the form of Sri Krishna as the son of Nanda Maharaj in Braj is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, or the complete manifestation of Godhood. That's the absolute form. It is complete in every respect. And thus, the living entities who have relationship with that form of the Lord, they are actually experiencing bliss to the complete degree. Nothing is left in that. Nothing is remaining. And also, what is another unique point about the pastimes of Sri Krishna? In any other incarnations, the Lord never manifests, or He gives opportunity to the living entities that they can have relationship with Him just like an ordinary person in this material world. Like we have friend or we have lover and beloved. All this relationship with no other incarnation are possible. Even in the incarnations of Sri Ramchandra, we don't see that. He only accepts Sita as his wife, and no other lady can be his wife. But if anyone has that desire that one wants to be the consort of the Lord, then what he can do? He can worship the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, and he will get this boon. He will get this desire fulfilled. So, when Sri Vyasadeva, he wrote this information in Srimad Bhagavatam, then he was satisfied. He felt that complete bliss, because now he knew his own relationship with the Lord. And by distributing this wonderful gift of love for everyone and giving that wonderful message, his joy was increasing. So many examples. Even in the example of Sri Narad Muni we see. Yesterday also in the class we were hearing Gurudev mention how Sri Narad Muni ji was so much attached to his gurus, the 4 Kumaras, and he strictly followed their instruction, chanted the mantra, and in no time he attained perfection. Furthermore, we see how Narad Muni gave initiation or mantra to Balmiki ji, to Dhruv Maharaj, to Prahlad, to Chitraketu Maharaj, to so many others. And each one of them attained perfection. But there was difference. There was difference of goal they all attained. So what does this mean? This means that not only having relationship with Gurudev is sufficient, but one has to continuously monitor and one has to carefully watch that if one is performing that complete surrender or not. If we take the example of Dhruv Maharaj, he also accepted Guru. He also had Guru Nishtha. When Narad Muni gave him mantra, he sat down and he chanted that mantra. But what happened? There was something lacking in his complete surrender. That's why his bhakti is called as Sakam Bhakti. Why? Sakam means having some desire, having some desire for his own self, other than serving the Lord. Because when Narad Muni, he was giving him mantra, he tested him in every way. But Dhruv Maharaj, he was understanding all the points of Narad Muni, and he said that, "Oh great sage, you are telling me everything for my well-being, but yet still the pain in my heart to take revenge of that insults, of that dishonor from my father, I cannot forget it. So, you kindly help me so that I can fulfill my desire." But also, he was committed, he knew that he can only fulfill his desire only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So this was good point. And Narad Muni, being so merciful, great sage, he knew, okay, let me give air to this small sparkle of bhakti in this living entity. And no sooner when he will perform the devotional service, the pure devotional service, automatically he will realize his true nature. That's why we see that person who is called Guru is not an ordinary person. He has that ability, he has that compassion, that despite taking all the pain and despite tolerating all the misbehaviors of conditioned souls, he engages them in the devotional practice. And gradually he gives them that knowledge and brings them to that platform where they realize their true nature and they establish themselves in that relationship with the Lord. And that's what happened with Dhruva Maharaj. After properly chanting mantras with strong devotion, strongly following, not lacking, oh, one day mind is cooperating, another day mind is not cooperating, so he's confused whether I should follow or it should not follow, or any bodily problems or disease or money problems or worldly problems. No. Completely. The day Narad Muni gave him this mantra, he sat down on that hill in Madhuban forest near Vrindavan and continuously followed the chanting of mantra, following strong austerities. And in 6 months he realized his goal. He was given darshans by the Supreme Lord. And then when that happened, what did he felt? He felt so much disappointment. Why? Because he had that desire to be wealthy, to be king, more powerful or wealthy king than his father. So that's why Supreme Lord said, you have performed so nice devotion, but because you had desire in your heart, so this must fulfill. And Dhruva Maharaj realized that actually he was looking for a broken piece of glass, because all this material wealth or positions, what is it actually? It is really even more worse than a broken glass. And what he found? He found real diamond. But now, because he had that desire, so Lord ordered him to rule this material world for a long period of time. And then after that, by the following of those wonderful performance of bhakti, it was assured that he will definitely achieve his eternal servitorship to the Supreme Lord. So similarly, in all the examples we see this, that the great souls have followed this path and they followed with strong devotion. They had no doubt in the words of their Guru. No doubts at all. And they served him with their life and soul. And we can also remember the acharyas in our parampara, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. All of them, they exemplified, they showed this path. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, how he was so qualified and he was such a big scholar. And yet, when he came to take the shelter of Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, what happened? What do we see? Srila Babaji Maharaj, so humble he was, that he refused to give mantra to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, saying that, oh, you're so qualified, I know nothing, so how can I give you mantra? But what did Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did? He took his life in his hand, humbly, and committed that if I don't get this mercy from you, there is no hope for me in this world. There is no meaning to my life. I'll give up my life. He was refused twice. And then, on the request of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and actually, Srila Gurukishore Das Babaji Maharaj was inspired by Sri Gaurachandra and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and then he gave the mantra to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Here, this is also very important to see the other aspect. I want to mention about Ekalavya. We also hear about Ekalavya so much as one of the ideal disciples of any guru, especially in specific Srila Dronacharya. So many people regard him, and they give example also that, oh, we should become disciple like Ekalavya. But there's big mistake here. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has given the true aspect of his nature in his article about him. And he underlines the fact that actually who he was. He was a complete demon, and that's why he was killed by the hands of Krishna. If he was a pure devotee, if he was a Vaishnava, why he ended up like that? Why he got that fate? Krishna never kills his devotees, he only kills demons. So by this we can understand that he was not a pure devotee. Furthermore, if we closely watch, then what happens? He comes to Sri Dronacharya and then he requests him to educate him in the knowledge of archery. And what did Sri Dronacharya did? He refused him, no, I cannot teach you. Then what did he do? Did he follow the example like I just mentioned about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur or Srila Narottam Thakur, that when they were refused, then they did not show their ego? But Ekalavya, what did he do? What did he do? Oh, okay. If you don't give him if you don't educate me, if you don't accept me as your disciple, doesn't matter. Within his heart, he's thinking like that. And then he went and he made a statue of Sri Dronacharya and he started learning the art of archery. So what is this? This is not Guru Bhakti. Why? Because he's not following the instruction of his Guru. If his Guru is saying no, then that means he should accept it. It would have been that Dronacharya was testing him, let me see. But he did not took that as a test. He did not try to follow at all or try to see, oh, what my Gurudev is wanting from me. Yet, with his own strong inspirations, he said, okay, I can do on myself. So it was a display of false egoism. And then, when later we see how Pandavas, when they came to forest and they took note that how Ekalavya was becoming so expert in archery, and the matter was reported to Dronacharya. And when Sri Dronacharya again came to him and he said, oh, who is your Guru? And then he said, you are my Guru because I'm taking all the inspiration from you. So Dronacharya ji knows everything because he's not simply an expert archer. He's also a devotee. He knows all the truths. So he knew that this person